What's up, guys? Today is day 109 of Deadlift Everyday, and today I wanted to talk about things you must accept as a steroid free lifter. Because even though I think it's an awesome thing to stay natural, there are some things we just must accept, and there is just no way around it. The first one is an obvious one, but still has to be said to manage expectations. And that is that you will be smaller and be able to gain less muscle than most people who also train hard and take steroids. According to science, natural lifters will be able to gain somewhere between 9 and 18 kilos of muscle mass over their training lifetime. Enhanced lifters will be able to gain somewhere between 18 and 54 kilos of muscle mass over their training lifetime, depending on how much they're using and what their genetic potential is. And having just said that we can expect to gain the same amount of muscle mass as people who train hard and take steroids, while in some cases we can even leave the train hard part out, because simply taking steroids alone will build a ton of muscle in a very short amount of time. This was shown in the study I have mentioned before that compared the dose response to testosterone, where they had different groups of people who they gave different dosages of testosterone. And the people who received the highest dosage of testosterone gained 20 pounds of muscle in 20 weeks on average, without even training. And naturally, there is just no way you could gain that amount of muscle mass, even if you trained very, very hard and did everything right. So that is something we just must accept. The second thing we must accept as a natural lifter is that we can't stay shredded if we want to actually gain some muscle. We must accept that we actually have to get somewhere between 15 and 20% body fat if we want to make progress. The reasoning for that is that in order to gain muscle, you must be at a caloric surplus. And when you are in a caloric surplus, you gain mass, both in the form of muscle and fat, if you are training hard enough. Another benefit of being at a slightly higher body fat percentage is that for most naturals, that is the sweet spot for making strength gains. And we all know that if strength goes up and you are at a caloric surplus, you are probably gaining muscle mass with that as well. This is also something that has been preached by guys like Alex Leonidas, Hersoviak, and Jeff Nippert. And I've seen this for myself as well. I mean, I've never gotten really fluffy, but being at a slightly higher body fat percentage does make the gains come a little easier. So while it looks awesome to be shredded all the time, it is just not doing you any good in terms of getting bigger as a natural. So we have to accept that in order to make the most progress, we have to let that body fat percentage climb up a little. Just remember that this is all very gradual. You don't want to get to 20% in just a month of time. And if you're lucky, you can stay a little leaner. That really depends on the person. The third and the last thing we must accept as a steroid-free lifter is that once you have been lifting for a decade or more, and you actually start to look pretty big compared to the average gym goers, is that people start to accuse you of using steroids. Or they double check if everything that you have built has been built without anabolic steroids. I mean, 99% of the time, people in the gym or people who you meet at social events are super nice about it, but they still want to know if it was all done naturally. In the comment section of my YouTube videos, there are some people who get very rude about it. And I've seen it in other people's comment sections on social media too. But again, that is just something we have to accept. It is not like you can actually prove that you haven't taken anything in your training lifetime. That is impossible. People just have to take your word for it. So I think those are probably the three biggest downsides to being a steroid-free lifter, if you could even call them downsides. but it is something you have to take into account if you are staying natural. Social media can sometimes play nasty tricks on your mind and make you believe things that aren't true, and then have you feeling bad about yourself because of it. So that's why I wanted to share this with you and get the truth about natural lifting out there. Alright, guys, that is all I have for today. I hope that was helpful and you liked the video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.